All eyes have been on Washington, D.C. lately, including our own Governor Josh Green, and joins us now live in studio with more on his recent trip to the nation's capital. Nice to have you here, Governor.
Thank you.
Yes, well, there was a lot of attention focus, obviously, in Washington with the latest round of Senate confirmation hearings. And I wanted to get your take on Tulsi Gabbard, who had her chance to face the Senate Intelligence Committee on her nomination to be Intelligence Director. What is your reaction and take on her in that position?
So I'm neutral because I know Tulsi going way back, and I try not to make these things personal. She did meet with a lot of concern from Republicans and Democrats because she wouldn't give them the answers that they wanted, which were some straight answers on things like Snowden or her interactions with Syria's dictator and so on. So she has to face those votes. These votes are very significant because they're going to show us whether or not there's any resistance at all to President Trump's plans. He did win the election, but he also is acting in a way that is very, very aggressive towards institutions everywhere. And if the Republicans in their caucus, where they have 53 votes to 47 Democrats, don't stand up where they feel there's principle on the line, then we are in deep trouble because you cannot have one branch of government just roll over everyone else.
A lot of people watching in the early stages of the transition here. You were actively there as a physician on the RFK Jr. Confirmation hearings as well. Yeah,
RFK Jr. is a total disaster of a nomination. He said things that hurt him in his hearing. He said things like African Americans should be on a different vaccine schedule. He denied any responsibility for what happened in Samoa, where 83 people died, even though everyone knows that he was paid by his own organizations to kind of damp down support for vaccinations. He also said things like AIDS is different in Africa than in the rest of the world. I mean, these are totally insane positions, and unfortunately, he's possibly going to be confirmed. It will come down to Senator Cassidy, who's a physician Republican, and who you could tell was upset because RFK Jr. did not even understand the difference between Medicare and Medicaid, foundational pieces of our healthcare system. So I'm not here to be partisan at all. I really want everyone to work together, and that is, truly in my heart. But when some people don't have any experience or capacity to do the job they're nominated for, it's bad for our residents, it's bad for Americans. And so I'd rather see Trump nominate someone, I'm sure they would be a solid Republican to run HHS, but someone who has experience.
One of the big issues from day one has been immigration, one of the major issues of the campaign, and giving such a melting pot and our immigrant population here in Hawaii. What are some of your concerns about the crackdown?
So what our position is anyone who's criminal, has committed criminal acts, anyone who is a bad person, we totally support the federal government's moves to have them removed from the country. No doubt at all about that. But there are many thousands of people who have just been working here, have families here, and we will not allow families to be separated. So that's my approach. I'm going to try to take a caring approach to all of these issues, which means we look out for people if they're vulnerable. But anyone who has broken laws or hurts America, of course, they've got to go. So we have to strike that balance. But we have worked with some of the federal government, and we have, I think, established kind of an understanding of where we are as a state and where they are as the federal government.
All right, that is something, of course, we've been following a lot. Something that touches just about everyone's pocketbook has been the prices of eggs. So I want to ask you that because already we spend so much, and it seems just over the past few years it's gone up another 28% here in Hawaii, and for imported eggs, 50%. What can we do to kind of curb some of that pinch that people are feeling in their pocketbooks?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because affordability is our biggest issue here in Hawaii. So it's either affordability of like food and energy or housing. So it's affordability, housing affordability. Those are the issues that people care about most. And so what can we do? We can produce more eggs to a degree, but we have real serious worries about some of the tactics that the feds are using because, for example, if they apply significant tariffs to individual countries that we import eggs from, we're going to see a 20, 30, or 40% increase in cost. They shouldn't do that. They should not just bludgeon people without a plan. And again, they're trying to do that because they want to decrease illegal immigration, but eggs are getting in the middle of this. Other foodstuffs are going to get in the middle of this. Lumber is going to get in the middle of this if they go forward with the tariff on Canada, and we will not be able to get lumber, wood, as affordable as we would like. And then you'll see housing prices go up even more. So The current approach by the federal government is bombastic, and they think that it's going to work because they think if you bring everyone to their knees by firing 2 million people, by shutting down resources to states, that they will scare people into submission. I will not be scared into submission. I'm going to make sure we look out for our state, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. But right now, that's what I saw in Washington, which was cooler heads are not prevailing. The political apparatus for President Trump is doing things even before his own cabinet knows about it. And that's why you're seeing them swing hard and swing for the fences and then realize they have to pull back. And I think there's going to be a lot of this uncertainty in the next couple months.
Well, Governor, we thank you for coming in and talking with us and sharing your experiences in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.